Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M, and I'm back with yet another video. Today, what are we going to do today? It should be fun. I hope it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about The Shining again. Uh, and but not just The Shining. We're going to talk a little bit about The Shining. We're going to talk a little bit about Doctor Strangelove. We're going to talk about Eraserhead. Not maybe, yeah, Eraserhead and Twin Peaks. It's going to be it's going to be an interesting video for me to make because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But there, and we're going to talk about Mr. Oppenheimer. Okay. Again. Um, and it should. I hope I have something to offer in this video because I've been losing my mind about this shit last since Monday morning. Okay, I'm making this thing late Tuesday night. It's almost Wednesday morning. That's how late I'm making it. But before I get into it, let me do the church announcements. Get all that out the way so we can get into it. Right about now is when you should be firing up the percolator. Okay, go plug it in. Okay, put the grounds in there, fill it up with water, and let it just bubble away. Um, while I do my church announcements. So, returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it a great deal. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video or any of my videos if you're into it and if you know somebody else who might be into it as well. Okay. Just thank you. Thank you if you're here watching, if you're a subscriber, if you're a commenter, if you're one of my regulars. I thank you so much and I appreciate you so much for being here and taking this journey with me because that's what it is. I don't have all the answers. I don't have like any answers. I have a bunch of questions. I sure do. And I keep asking them because that's unfortunately I'm a little too curious. I want to know stuff. I want to explore things mentally and emotionally too. This is somewhat emotional for me. I think that there's something here and I wouldn't be going to all this trouble if I didn't think there was something here. I would like to report a success in my little endeavor here on YouTube and social media in general. I did the Blick thing. It's my first like thing ever that I've received any form of compensation for as as an internet person. I don't think I'm an influencer, but you know, I did the thing. I did the thing on my stories in Instagram. Got my little $25 coupon in exchange for doing that, and I already spent it. I already spent it at Blick. I already bought exactly what's on sale right now over there. Paint and canvases. Yes. The $25, it helped, but it didn't make much of a dent because I ended up spending more than $400. Including tax. Free shipping isn't, yes, they do free shipping on orders over a certain amount, so go check that out. If you're an artist, if you're a hobbyist, you don't have to be a professional artist. If you just like to draw and paint and create, go over there, see what they have. They've got good stuff. And no, this video is not sponsored. I wish. Oh, wouldn't that be marvelous? Blick, if you're listening, please consider putting me on your roster of quote-unquote influencers. I would be honored because, like I said, I've been riding with them since back in the day when they used to be called Dick Blick. All right. And I don't know why they I don't know why they cut the dick off, but but they did. Now they're just Blick. And you know, that's none of my business. I don't judge. They did what they did, whatevs. But they're good company, so go over there. Anyway, So that's it. That's it. That's my latest developments. It's hot in Los Angeles, California. Ooh, it's been so damn hot last couple of days. It's supposed to cool down a little bit by the end of the week, but mm-mm. Funk this weather. Funk it. Um, but if I ever get monetized, I know I'm gonna have to clean up my language. I know, but uh, whatever. So anyway, here we go, y'all. Here we go. We're at my homepage, so you know you're in the right place. I used to say that back in the day when I was starting out. What are we gonna talk about today? What are we gonna talk about today? I hope you got your coffee. Yeah, your creamer, your cream, sugar, whatever you put in there, flavorings, syrup. Um, you're doing a latte, you're doing just an iced coffee with milk, cappuccino, espresso, macchiato, uh, frappuccino if you dashed off to Starbucks or ordered it on one of those delivery services. Dietrich, like I said, Dietrich, Starbucks. What's the other one that I've heard? Pete's. Um, the Coffee Bean. Well, your privately owned mom and pop coffee place. Wherever you go get your coffee. And what are we going to talk about today? It's going to involve a damn fine cup of coffee, let me tell you, because we're talking about David Lynch today a little bit. Like I said, Twin Peaks and Eraserhead, The Shining, Dr. Strangelove, possibly even Lolita. Possibly. And I think I've solved another mystery. You know, I'm not bragging or anything, but I think I figured something out, if I do say so myself. All right. Now, before I get into it, I looked this up. I thought, well, damn it, it can't be just me. I can't be the only person on planet Earth who's noticed this or considered this possibility with regard specifically to The Shining. Can't be just me. Can't be just me. And I Googled it. I promise you I did. Maybe I didn't do it good enough. There's like that conspiracy theory that the internet is different for everybody and like it conforms to your search habits or whatever. So maybe that's why I didn't find. I don't know. I don't know. But I looked to see if anybody else has had this thought or this idea before me. Couldn't find a damn thing. Nothing significant anyway. Maybe I wasn't looking right. Maybe I don't know what keywords to use. I don't know. But this has to do with Oppenheimer again. And I talked about that. Let me scroll down and show you. Okay. Look at all these freaking videos I've done. I've done videos about Twin Peaks, unraveling the mystery. Twin Peaks season 1, episode 1. The one where it's a black screen and just me talking. I'm still very, very sorry about that, but I'm going to leave it up there because whatever. I'm going to get into Twin Peaks soon. I did Etruscan Arts relation to Twin Peaks and The Shining. Where's my thing about the number 42? That's what I'm mainly here to discuss today. I'm looking. I'm probably going to put it in the description. My video about 42. If I can find it. Shit. Where are you? Here it is. Here it is. Film analysis, The Shining, Twin Peaks, the number 42, Red Rum, and H.G. Wells. I'll put that in the description. Now, looking back, and I did this video about 3 months ago. I think I was wrong in this video that I'm going to put in the description and have you watch if you want to. Anyway, I goofed. I goofed. I didn't do anything horrible. No, everybody's going to be okay, but I was thinking in the wrong direction, and I have to rechart my course as an explorer, as a adventurer in this mental game that we're all playing with this movie and Stanley and David and whoever. I don't even remember everything I said in here. I have a good idea. I know I mentioned like Hitchhiker's Guide. I know I mentioned World War II. I think so. Anyway, go ahead and watch the video and let me know what I said. But I was wrong. I was wrong. I was thinking in the wrong direction on so many things. And it's okay to be wrong. It really is, because especially if nobody's life is at stake. Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. Um, and you just, you reset your thing and try to do it better next time. And I said that I did the number 42 in this video, and I talked about some stuff in, was it my first? Yeah, this is probably it, unraveling the mystery of Twin Peaks, who really killed Laura, who really, really, really is in all caps killed Laura Palmer. I think that's my first video really discussing Twin Peaks. And I did discuss Eraserhead, but with the first Twin Peaks video, that interestingly enough, they're right next to each other in my videos collection, and I'm going to put them in the description if you want to watch them. I talked about Oppenheimer, okay? And I thought I was crazy. With this 42, even when this video about the Twin Peaks Shining 42 Red Rum H.G. Wells, even as I was making it, like, I knew I was just stabbing in the dark. I knew, but I did it anyway. Because how could you, first you got to be wrong before you can be right. Or, first you got to be wrong before you can get closer to being right. Maybe I'll never be right, and that's okay. But this one, I knew that I was onto something. Okay, I really knew that I was onto something, and I believe this first Twin Peaks video that I made, when I talked about I think I talked about just the intro to the show, just the opening sequence of the show, where I'm going to call him that. He deserves it. We have our Stanley, now we have our David, our David Lynch. He just shows pictures of the town, the entrance to the town with the sign that says the population. The bird, the sawmill, the creek, and the waterfall. And I talked about mythology. I talked about Uranus. It's excuse me. Um, I talked about what is it called? Castration. I talked about, was it? Yeah, I think Saturn usurped his father. I think it was his father Uranus by cutting off his silly sack. Okay, and the foam that comes from that, Saturn cutting off Uranus's silly sack, the sperm, basically, it is interpreted as sea foam in the art, and that's where the goddess Venus comes from. And I said, okay, maybe that's who Laura Palmer is, or she's supposed to represent the goddess Venus in Twin Peaks. There's a lot of shit going on. And then Lolita is related to Twin Peaks too, because we have underage girls, high school girls like Laura Palmer and the other kids in Twin Peaks just doing shit that they shouldn't be doing at that age. And the parents are like cool with it. I think I even mentioned that in my Twin Peaks videos. Like, what the hell is going on in this town? No supervision, no discipline, no nothing. But whatever. So yeah, I have come to the conclusion that in order to understand Stanley Kubrick's movies, especially Lolita, and possibly, yeah, no, not possibly, also The Shining. Lolita and The Shining, you really got to watch Twin Peaks. You really got to watch Eraserhead, because David is breaking it down for us. Stanley was inspired by David's Eraserhead, and then in turn, I believe that David was inspired by Stanley, especially Lolita. I think David Lynch has gone on record as saying that Lolita is his favorite Stanley Kubrick movie, and you can see it in Twin Peaks. You sure can if you look closely. Now, that's what I said in these videos. I'm going to link them in the description, along with all the other tabs that I got lined up for you. And the 42. And I even talked about it in my latest Shining video. Let me see. Yeah, this is not from the video. This is just a still I found online just to use to talk in this video. And this is the scene right before Danny goes upstairs to go get his fire engine. This is the scene where Danny and his mother, Wendy, are down here in the lobby watching that movie that is called the summer of 42. And we also have 42 with Danny's shirt in the scene right before he allegedly passes out and the doctor has to come in and examine him and whatever. He's got 42 with red, white, and blue on this shirt and the stars down here. I think, oh my God, now that I'm really thinking about it, unfortunately, I'm a little scatterbrained, but it kind of works for me. If you watch, I should look this up, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyway. If you're a Faith No More and Mike Patton fan like I am, go and watch the video for Easy. Easy Like Sunday Morning. And Mike Patton is wearing a shirt very similar to this one. You know, when he was young and gorgeous. He's still gorgeous, but he was young and gorgeous back then. Yeah, I don't know if there's a 42 on Mike Patton's shirt, but I'm telling you, that man communicates through his clothes. I want to do a video about that so much, and like all the possible like comms, if you know, you know, comms that Mike Patton sends through his clothing in photo shoots and music videos on his stage performances. He is that I believe Mike Patton is like Kubrickian as far as the way he uses visual language, or Lynchian or whatever. I think, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so Danny's wearing the 42 while he's here looking in the mirror while talking to Tony, you know. And then we got the summer of 42 in this scene, playing on the cordless TV. Cordless TV that has doors that swing open and close just because, you know, the TV, back in the day, the TV thought it was dignified. Now it's, but like, now it's a hoe that just stays up all night. Back in the day, it went off at midnight and it had doors, so it closed itself when it was done working. But, and then we also have in The Shining, room 237. Okay. And we have this is a cute page. This is The Shining sets, a digital reconstruction, render images of all sets from the movie The Shining. Really, really good page. And they got sets from all these different parts of the hotel, including like the Forest Service and Ullman's office, Halloran's apartment, Durkin's garage, and whatever. And they have a whole page dedicated to room 237. And you have the floor plan, right? And you can look. So this is the entrance over here, and this is the internal entrance. This is, I guess, like, how many freaking hotel rooms have what is this? Lord, what in the blue fuck is going on here? Oh, okay. So I assume the hallway is this way. I could be wrong. No, yeah, the hallway is over here where my cursor is going back and forth. Then you enter, and this hotel room has this giant foyer. And the foyer is bigger than like the main room. Well, almost as big as the main room. And then you have this other part, which is, I don't think it's a foyer. It's just part of this like living room complex. Then there's the bedroom. And then there's this bathroom, which I just realized when I was going through these pictures on this website, that the bathroom, naked lady not included, the bathroom is, this shade of green reminds me very, very much of the bedroom and whatever at the end of 2001. That same kind of like sage green color. I don't know. You all tell me what you think. But anyway, why am I here? Room 237. 2 times 3 times 7 is 42. Okay. And I was saying in this video over here, I said, damn, Stanley, is it this one or this one? No. The ending of the show. Yeah, no, I wasn't. No, this one. My latest part, 18, Understanding the Shining. I was saying, well, you know, damn, Stanley really wants us to be aware of the number 42, and specifically, Hialaskis, specifically the year 1942. He's not kidding about this. I mean, I found 3, or I've noticed in my watchings of this movie, like 3 instances of him like bopping you over the head and reminding you of the number 42, and specifically in this one, the year 1942. And again, this movie is about more or less, let's just be honest here. We're all grown-ups. This movie is about an inappropriate relationship between a grown-up woman. Okay, yeah, she's young. She's in, I think the Jennifer O'Neill character is in her like 20s. She's a young woman. But the dude that she's messing with is a teenager. So it's inappropriate. It's an inappropriate relationship between this young guy who's, I guess, the narrator of this story in the movie, um, and the Jennifer O'Neill character. An inappropriate relationship that's not okay because it's between a grown-up and a minor that happened in 1942. Okay. Summer. Very important. Summer. He could, I guess he could have picked any other thing that would remind you of the year 1942 if he just wanted you to concentrate on that year. No, this is Stanley we're talking about. Okay? He wanted you to be aware not just of 42 and the year 1942, but the summer of 1942. Okay. All right. No, in my, I'm going to scroll down again. Oh, where is it? Oh, yes, this video that I'm going to leave in the description. On my first real Twin Peaks video where I think I talk about the opening sequence. I talked about this. Here on Wikipedia, it's called the Born-Oppenheimer approximation. Okay? And they call it the Born-Oppenheimer approximation here, but I looked it up as the Born-Oppenheimer breakdown. And when I look at, and that's maybe what it was originally called, but they changed the name or whatever, for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they seem to have done that. The Born-Oppenheimer approximation, also known as Bob, B-O-B. And I'm not talking about that song by Outkast. No, I'm talking B.O.B., the Bob character from Twin Peaks, the spirit, the evil spirit. Bob, the guy with the long hair and everything, that's Bob. And he inhabits the body of Laura Palmer's father, who, if I'm not mistaken, is named Leland. Okay? And Leland is the no goodnik in the series. Okay, I won't say what he did, but I think you all might probably already know. But the Born-Oppenheimer approximation. Okay, and in that video I talked about. I said I think this is who Bob is, or I think this is who the Bob character stands for. The Born-Oppenheimer approximation, or also known as, aka, the Born-Oppenheimer breakdown. Okay, now let me read this to you a little bit. Okay, I think I already read to you in the other video where I talk about the opening sequence of Twin Peaks, but it certainly does bear repeating. Okay, in quantum chemistry and molecular physics, the Born-Oppenheimer approximation, also known as breakdown, is the best known mathematical approximation in molecular dynamics. Shit, I didn't know that. Even though I read this before, I didn't memorize any of this. Come on now. I've dedicated my life to the arts. I was bad at math, so I'm not going to memorize anything like this. Anyway, specifically, it is the assumption that the wave functions of atomic nuclei and electrons in a molecule can be treated separately based on the fact that the nuclei are much heavier than the electrons. Due to the larger relative mass of a nucleus compared to an electron, the coordinates of the nuclei in a system are approximated as fixed, while the coordinates of the electrons are dynamic. See, I don't know what none of that means. I just read it to you. I tried picturing this in my head. No, couldn't do it. But let me continue. The approach is named after Max Born and his 23-year-old graduate student J. Robert Oppenheimer, the latter of whom proposed it in 1927 during a period of intense ferment in the development of quantum mechanics. The approximation is widely used in quantum chemistry to speed up the computation of molecular wave functions and other properties for large molecules. There are cases where the assumption of separable motion no longer holds, which make the approximation lose validity. It is said to break down. Hello, thank you. I knew I wasn't crazy. Yes, breakdown. All right, that's probably why in other places it's known as the Born-Oppenheimer breakdown. Okay, yeah. But even then, the approximation is usually used as a starting point for more refined methods. Okay, I'm not going to read this anymore. I'm just not. Because you know what it is now. You can find this and look it up for yourself if you're into this kind of thing. If you were a science person in school and you're still a science person, go ahead, take this to the mountain. But this is what I believe that the Bob character from Twin Peaks is based on. And it says here that Oppenheimer was working on this as a 23-year-old graduate student. Most of us are just coming out of college, undergrad, at the age of 21 or 22. So Oppenheimer was basically a genius. And he worked on this with Max Born, and this was in the 1920s. Now, what I couldn't find, which bothers me a little bit, this page just talks about, look at all these equations, the mathematical stuff, the scientific stuff. What I cannot find, I'm just going to go ahead and assume, I think is a safe assumption for me to be making. But then again, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be dead ass wrong, and I have no idea because I'm ignorant about these things. But something tells me that this approximation, mathematical approximation, named after Max Born and J. Robert Oppenheimer, Born-Oppenheimer approximation, also known as breakdown, is somehow related to the atomic bomb. Or, this knowledge had to be wrought by these two men in the 1920s in order to pave the way, or was probably used somehow in some way, shape, or form later in the invention and creation of the dreaded atomic bomb. Okay? I could be wrong. But whatevs, y'all, whatevs. Now, I believe that Bob in Twin Peaks is named after this. The Born-Oppenheimer, I'll just go ahead and call it breakdown. All right. Now, I also looked up the movie Oppenheimer, which seems to be very popular, and it seems to be a very well-received movie. I read the plot, and you can read it too here. I will put it in the description for you if you want to. Probably a bunch of you who have already seen this movie. And listen, oh, hi. I gotta be me, and let you know, based on the plot in this movie, like, I just don't know whether or not I like Oppenheimer as a person. I really don't. If he was, he made this thing, this horrible, dreadful thing, the atomic bomb, and then after it had been used and killed so many people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then he tried to, like, atone for his mistake. Maybe, making the thing wasn't a mistake, but realizing that the knowledge that he created, this thing that he helped create, was capable of such deadly destructive force on a mass scale. Like, he knew that while he was making it. He knew what the purpose, how could he not have known what the purpose of the atomic bomb was? Right? Am I wrong in that? Y'all let me know in the comments. How do you feel about Oppenheimer's ethics and morality and whatever regarding the creation of this horrible thing, the atomic bomb? Like, the only way he's not, in my opinion, just me, I could be wrong, let me know if you think I'm wrong, but the only way he's not a complete demon is if like the atomic bomb wasn't real. That's the only way that Oppenheimer is absolved, in my opinion. Okay, you guys, please don't hate me. Please forgive me. If I'm ignorant, let me know that I'm ignorant. Set me on the right course. If I don't know what I don't know, tell me what I don't know. But the only way any of this, the only way he's absolved of his, uh, I don't know, the sin of making this horrible thing is if it's fake. Now, is it fake? I hope so. That would be great. That would be freaking awesome if the atomic bomb was fake. I know there are conspiracy theories out there that say that, yeah, it's just, it's not real. It's just like, it's just they use the threat of this to scare people. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I mean, the odds of it not being real, the odds of the atomic bomb being fake, I think are pretty slim. But I'm the kind of person who I don't just ignore possibilities, even if they sound completely crazy. Now, I just said that to say that, just to let you know that's, in my opinion, the only way that Oppenheimer is absolved of sin is if this thing were fake. But if it's real and he knew what he was doing and he knew what kind of terrible demonic thing he was working on and he did it anyway, I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so this is a very popular movie lately, and I want to know why. Like, it's like, why did they pick, like, now, 2023, to release a movie about um, Oppenheimer? I don't know if there have been movies made about him before, his life or whatever, but like right now, when the world is like in so much turmoil and so many things are up in the air and whatever, like now, okay, all right, cool. But that I wanted to show you this. I considered reading the plot to you, but I say, you know what? No, that's gonna take up a bunch of time, and you could do that by yourself. I'll leave this in the description, and you've probably already seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie. I'm not much of a movie goer, but that's Oppenheimer, um, the Born-Oppenheimer breakdown that I believe is what the Bob character in Twin Peaks is based on. And this is the fandom page for Bob. And Bob is spelled capital B, capital O, capital B. So that makes me even more confident that it stands for, Bob's name stands for the Born-Oppenheimer approximation. And this is one of Bob's quotes from the show. Through the dark of futures past, the magician longs to see. One chance out between two worlds, fire walk with me. I'll catch you with my death bag. You may think I've gone insane, but I promise I will kill again. Oh, shit. Okay, Bob, B-O-B, Killer Bob, was a possessing spirit believed to originate from the mythical Black Lodge. Remember I told you about the Black Lodge? I told you about the chevron pattern on the floor, and their chevrons have to do with military rank insignia. Okay. It's not just the petroleum company, the gasoline company. That's maybe that's where they got their idea for using that symbol, but it has to do with military and military people wearing their rank on their clothes and the sleeves of their jackets and whatever. He spent most of his time on Earth possessing human beings, committing horrific acts to harvest pain and sorrow, known as garmonbosia, and I swear to God I'm going to figure out what that means one day, from those around him. While inhabiting a human, Bob's true form, that of a long-haired vagrant, could only be seen by the gifted and the damned. And this is a picture of what Bob really looks like. And the guy who played him was like not a bad looking guy, but they styled him so he could look like it says here, like a vagrant. There's biographical information. Bob, B-O-B, And AKA Robertson. Does that mean he's the son of J. Robert Oppenheimer? I'm just saying. And also AKA Beware of Bob. B-O-B, capital B, capital O, capital B. Born 1945. Interesting, no? And we'll see why he was born in 1945. Yeah, let me get down here. Biography. Early years. Here it is. Following a 1945 nuclear test in White Sands, New Mexico, the image of Bob, B-O-B, Bob, was seemingly regurgitated from a white figure. Bob spent several years with Mike, feeding off of fear and pain until Mike saw the face of God and cut off his own arm. Bob then lurked around the Great Northern Hotel for 40 years. When Leland Palmer was a boy, Robertson lived in a white house near his grandfather's summer house at Pearl Lakes. He taunted Leland, asking, "Do you want to play with fire, little boy?" Bob told Leland that he wanted to play and then opened Leland and went inside him. Okay. Molesting Laura. From when she was 12, Bob began molesting and abusing Leland's daughter, Laura, regularly. An owl told Bob of, oh dear God, an owl told Bob of Laura's first orgy at Jacques Renault's cabin. In a later dream, Laura saw Bob at Jacques' cabin killing his bird Waldo and approaching her, but was stopped by a gigantic owl. Laura knew him to be a friend of Leland. Bob told her that the only person he feared was Mike. Bob's objective with Laura was to be her, or else he would kill her. Okay. So, why did I read this part? It's difficult to read. He started Leland, or Bob, using Leland as a vessel, started molesting Laura when she was 12. Well, I said this relates to Lolita, didn't I? In the book that I did the Shakespearean thing about the other day, where is it? Yeah, there it is. Shakespeare Sonnets, here it is. In the book by Vladimir Nabokov, the Dolores character. In the movie, she's like about 14, I think. 14, 15. In the book, she's about 12. So, yeah, David is borrowing from Stanley via Lolita and Nabokov and the whole thing. Okay? There's something very, very wrong with Bob. And look where was he comes from something that happened, some kind of atomic like reaction or spiritual or demonic or God knows what kind of thing that happened during a nuclear test in 1945 in White Sands, New Mexico. Okay? And now you might be saying, 1945? But Miss M, you said you were going to talk about 1942, and I will. Just give me a minute. And like I said, 1942. Yep, 42. Yeah, 1942. Yeah, 2 times 3 times 7 equals this room. 42. Okay, 42. Let me go ahead and take a coffee break, and I will let you know what I believe 42 really is and what it really means. You go get your coffee too. I don't know how much longer I'm going to talk after this. We're going to talk about Dr. Strangelove. We're going to talk about this article. Stanley Kubrick explains why people don't understand nuclear threats in Dr. Strangelove documentary. And we're going to talk about something else. So stay tuned, y'all. Okay, I'm back. I had my little coffee. Okay. And I'm going to continue. All right, I'm going to continue. Now, I'm going to first start off by thanking Richard, Tankard of Tales, because you have him to blame for this video. His something he showed me in a DM when we were talking about the similarities between The Shining and Lolita. He sent me this image, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" So this is Lolita's pose when Humbert first sees her, and she's in the backyard. She's sunbathing. She's wearing this bikini and this hat. And then there's also Danny over here on the cloth of honor in precisely um, this scene that I was telling you about, where they're watching the summer of 42. And yeah, Danny on his cloth of honor is positioned exactly, I mean exactly, like Lolita Dolores in the movie Lolita. Is this a coincidence? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Um, but I just had to show you this. This is what got me to thinking about all this stuff. I don't, and because this scene on the one with Danny on the cloth of honor in the lobby, him and his mother are watching apparently the movie The Summer of 42 on this cordless TV with a very faint, almost no reflection of the TV screen on the polished floor where these two toys are precisely. Is this, I mean, if this is a boat and this is an airplane, yeah, if I'm right about what these two toys are. Oh, Stanley. Stanley, Stanley, Stanley. Now, that means there's a connection between Danny and Dolores. Okay? I believe that. I totally believe that. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you can thank Richard, you can thank Tanker Tales, and please go over there and watch his latest video about the foreword and the first chapter of Lolita. He does a really amazing job. He analyzes those two parts of the book, the foreword and chapter one, pretty astutely. He's trying to make sense of it. He's doing maybe something similar to what I'm doing with The Shining. He's trying to figure out the parts of the thing that don't make sense, that we should be questioning, because we're dealing with the Humbert character. We're dealing with an unreliable narrator. Okay? And I think Stanley carries that through a lot of his movies, the unreliable narrator. I think maybe most of his narrators, or whoever's perspective we're looking at the story from in the movies that he does, that person is probably unreliable in some way, shape, or form. And Lolita might not be the first movie that he did it, but it certainly is like a very, very significant example of that unreliable narrator thing. So run over there, watch his video. It's awesome. But getting back to what I'm doing here. Yeah. What's going on with 42? What's going on with 42? And, Danny sitting here like Lolita, Dolores was sitting in Lolita, and then the connection between Lolita and Twin Peaks, and then the connection between Eraserhead and The Shining. There's a lot. There's a lot. And I was saying in this video too, my latest, part 18, how the bedroom part of the Torrance's apartment in the hotel is not an exact replica, but a pretty darn close replica of Henry Spencer's, not just bedroom, but that's like his whole apartment in that apartment building he's living in. Like, for some reason, Stanley was just crazy nuts about Eraserhead. He made his whole cast for The Shining and crew watch it. Okay, come on now. These men understood each other. Okay, Stanley and David understood each other, and David Lynch is carrying on, or carried on, articulating what it is that Stanley was trying to tell us in his films, whether it's Lolita, whether it's The Shining, whether it's whatever, through his own projects, and most significantly, I think, here in this discussion with regard to The Shining and whatever, and Lolita and what have you. Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, that show, I need to start watching the other episodes. I know it's jam-packed full of symbolism. Oh, if I only, if only there were more hours in a day. Let's just put it that way. So let me go ahead and look at this, the article that I was going to show you. Stanley Kubrick. Oh, these damn things. Anyway, Stanley Kubrick explains why people don't understand nuclear threats in Dr. Strangelove documentary. In a new documentary, this is from the year 2019, a new documentary accompanying a re-release of the film, the filmmaker's words are timelier than ever. I don't know which to read first. The plot of Dr. Strangelove, or this article. Let me see. How long is it? It's not too long. Okay, so let me read the Strangelove plot first. Okay, plot for Dr. Strangelove, which also stars Peter Sellers, by the way. United States Air Force Brigadier General Jack D. Ripper is commander of Burpelson Air Force Base, which houses the 843rd Bomb Wing, flying B-52 bombers armed with hydrogen bombs. The planes are on an airborne alert 2 hours from their targets inside the USSR. And by the way, this movie's from 1964, so that's 2 years after the release of Lolita. Just so you know the timeline. Yeah. General Ripper orders his executive officer, Group Captain Lionel Mandrake, an exchange officer from the Royal Air Force, to put the base on alert, confiscate all privately owned radios from base personnel, and issue Wing Attack Plan R to the patrolling bombers. All the aircraft commence attack flights on the USSR and set their radios to allow communications only through their CRM 114 discriminators, which are designed to accept only communications preceded by a secret 3-letter code known only to General Ripper. Happening upon a radio that had been missed earlier and hearing regular civilian broadcasting, Mandrake realizes that no attack order has been issued by the Pentagon and tries to stop Ripper, who locks them both in his office. Ripper tells Mandrake that he believes the Soviets have been fluoridating American water supplies to pollute the precious body fluids of Americans. Mandrake realizes Ripper has become insane. Okay, now obviously Jack D. Ripper is a play on, the murderer, Jack the Ripper. And this fluoridation thing, that's another discussion for another time. Not now. I don't have that kind of time for this video, but okay. In the war room at the Pentagon, General Buck Turgidson briefs President Merkin Muffley, and oh my God, these names, and other officers about how Plan R enables a senior officer to launch a retaliatory nuclear attack on the Soviets if all superiors have been killed in a first strike on the United States. Oh my Lord. Trying every CRM code combination to issue a recall order would require 2 days, so Muffley orders the U.S. Army to storm the base and arrest General Ripper. Turgidson, noting the slim odds of recalling the planes in time, then proposes that Muffley not only let the attack proceed, but send reinforcements. According to an unofficial study, this would result in modest and acceptable civilian casualties from the badly damaged and uncoordinated Soviet military remaining after the initial attack. Muffley rejects Turgidson's recommendation and instead brings Soviet Ambassador Alexei de Sadetsky into the war room to telephone Soviet Premier Dmitry Kisov, oh dear, on the hotline. Muffley warns the Premier of the impending attack and offers to reveal the target's flight plans and defensive systems of the bombers so that the Soviets can protect themselves. After a heated discussion with the Premier, the ambassador informs President Muffley that the Soviet Union created a doomsday machine as a nuclear deterrent. It consists of many buried bombs jacketed with cobalt thorium G, which are set to detonate automatically should any nuclear attack strike the country. The resulting nuclear fallout would then engulf the planet for 93 years, rendering the Earth's surface uninhabitable. The device cannot be deactivated as it is programmed to explode if any such attempt is made. The President's German wheelchair-using scientific advisor, former Nazi Dr. Strangelove, points out that such a doomsday machine would only be an effective deterrent if everyone knew about it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, let me continue. Dostoevsky, and that is probably a play on the Marquis de Sade, replies that the Soviet premier had planned to reveal its existence to the world the following week at the Party Congress. U.S. Army troops arrive at Burleson and battle with the garrison. After General Ripper commits suicide, Mandrake identifies Ripper's CRM code from doodles on his desk blotter and relays it to the Pentagon. Using the code, Strategic Air Command successfully recalls all the bombers except for one, commanded by Major T.J. King Kong, due to the radio equipment being damaged by a Soviet SAM. The Soviets hunt the bomber, but Kong flies below the radar and switches targets due to a dwindling fuel. As the plane approaches the new target, a Soviet ICBM site, the crew is unable to open the damaged bomb bay doors. Kong enters the bay and repairs the electrical wiring while straddling an H-bomb. After that, the doors open and the bomb is dropped. Kong joyously hoots and waves his cowboy hat as he rides the falling bomb to his death. That's that famous scene, I guess, of the movie. In the war room, Dr. Strangelove recommends that the president gather several hundred thousand people to live in deep underground mines where the radiation will not penetrate. He suggests a 10-to-1 female-to-male ratio for a breeding program to repopulate the Earth once the radiation has subsided. Worried that the Soviets will do the same, Turgidson warns about a mineshaft gap, while Dostoevsky secretly photographs the war room. Dr. Strangelove declares he has a plan, then suddenly rises from his wheelchair and exclaims, "Mein Führer, I can walk." The film ends with a montage of nuclear explosions, accompanied by Vera Lynn's rendition of the song "We'll Meet Again." I gotta watch this movie. This looks like a good movie. Now, Peter Sellers plays 3 characters in this movie. Group Captain Lionel Mandrake, from a British RAF exchange officer, Merkin Muffley, the President of the United States, and Dr. Strangelove, the wheelchair-using nuclear war expert and former Nazi Merkwürdige Gleibe, who has alien hands syndrome. Wow. And I think the reason that Peter Sellers had to play 3 roles in this movie is because the studio was cheaping out on Stanley and they didn't want to pay for 3 separate actors. So Peter Sellers had to play 3 different roles. And they got the idea from it because Peter Sellers played 2 roles in Lolita. He played Claire Quilty and Dr. Zempf. But see, so Stanley had to he really had to work hard to get his stuff done because this studio was just not willing to play ball with him. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so now you know the plot of Dr. Strangelove. That this is not a substitute for watching the movie, because we know how Stanley does things. I'm sure there's plenty to see watching Strangelove, even though I've spoiled the whole thing for you. But I don't really think I spoiled anything. Should I have issued a spoiler alert? I don't think so. But so he did a movie, Stanley did, about stuff related to the nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb. In this movie, Dr. Strangelove from 1964, again released 2 years after Lolita. And this is supposed to be a comedy, a political satire, black comedy film. Okay, co-written, and produced by Stanley Kubrick, and starring Peter Sellers in 3 roles, including the title character. So the movie is titled after this like maniacal Nazi um, in a wheelchair, which tells you something. That imagery tells you that this Nazi maniac, from the waist down, he's useless. Let's just put it that way. Um, and that's no shade to disabled people, just this one character, this one horrible character. Now, Lord, there's a lot to unpack here, isn't there? And the full title of the movie is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. This sounds an awful lot like the conspiracy theory I was talking about a little while ago now, doesn't it? Oh! What did I hit on? Did I hit something with my shovel, y'all? My shovel, my pickaxe, my gardening equipment? Tell me. Tell me. What's going on here? Am I losing my mind? I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, so this movie is about, what if you young people may have never heard of this, if you're listening. MAD, M-A-D, during the Cold War, which stood for Mutually Assured Destruction, which is featured in this movie, and Mutually Assured Destruction had to do with the atomic bomb. And Mutually Assured Destruction means if one country uses it on another country, that other country will use it on the country that used it first. Now, I don't think, there are too many countries on planet Earth who have nuclear weapons. One of them is the United States. Did the Soviet Union have nuclear weapons? I don't know. But it's an issue. It's a very serious issue that's been debated very hotly over the years. All right. And Stanley made a movie about it. A comedy of all things. A comedy. How I learned. Who is I? Is it Dr. Strangelove? Is that I? I don't know. But How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Is Dr. Strangelove the one who loves the bomb? Because he represents the Nazis, and the Nazis were just awful. And they wanted to basically rule the world with their little Third Reich bullshit. Um, there's a lot going on here. But let me go over here to this article. And this is, I think, the best thing I could find. It might not be perfect, but it's Stanley's words. That's why I'm using it. Stanley Kubrick explains why people don't understand nuclear threats in Dr. Strangelove documentary. Okay. Stanley Kubrick's 1964 satire, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, was released at the height of a nuclear arms race, as paranoia about the apocalypse reached an all-time high. Decades later, as nuclear threats continue to ripple across the globe, the idea of an atomic bomb threatening life in America continues to be seen as a fantasy. Wait, what? Jesus Christ. They had children do drills in school, preparing for a nuclear attack. Just ask people who were alive in the 60s and 70s. That makes Kubrick's loopy cautionary tale more timely than ever. And a new short documentary exhumes the filmmaker's assessment of his movie to remind people that there is plenty of cause for concern. Okay. In Stanley Kubrick Considers the Bomb, director Matthew Wells explores the movie's outlook in Kubrick's own words. Quote, "The atomic bomb is as much of an abstraction as you can possibly have," end quote, Kubrick says in an archival interview, which runs alongside images of mushroom bombs similar to the ones that close out his film. Okay. And here's another quote. "It's as abstract as that you know that someday you'll die, and you do an excellent job of denying it psychologically. I would say, in the minds of most people, it's less interesting than city government." Now he's talking about nuclear weapons, right? The documentary has been produced in tandem with plans for a new 4K restoration of Dr. Strangelove that will be released in UK cinemas on May 17th. Again, this is in the year 2019. Contemporary voices in the documentary include author and journalist Eric Schlosser, who points out that a lot of the immediate coverage of Dr. Strangelove failed to recognize its accurate portrayal of the current nuclear threat, viewing the film's cataclysmic doomsday machine as a fantasy. In fact, Kubrick had interviewed government officials which informed his portrayal of a dysfunctional war room where poor tactical decisions could have destructive results. Kubrick himself coped with plenty of anxiety about the potential for nuclear war, according to his daughter Katharina Kubrick, who also appears in the documentary. She says, he didn't want to frighten us, noting that her father didn't bring it up at home and instead channeled his fears directly into his film. He was terrified like everybody was, which was why he chose to make a movie about this very terrifying subject, which is a threat still, she says. Watch the trailer for the recent release of Dr. Strangelove below. Okay. All right. So, I don't know how much we learned from this article, but obviously, or it seems obvious anyway, Stanley took this seriously. This whole nuclear bomb thing. He took it very seriously. And again, in Dr. Strangelove, and I believe in Lolita, and probably all of his movies, including the one that I'm most obsessed with, The Shining, he keeps pointing back to this thing. Okay? This nuclear threat thing, this mad thing, mutually assured destruction, the doomsday machine, which, again, like the plot says, only works if people know about it. I don't know what's going on, but my brain is spinning. Now, what did I say that I would be explaining to you in this video? Well, I've been talking for a little over an hour. I had a coffee break and everything. And okay, I'll finally tell you what's going on. What do I believe? Why do I believe that Stanley Kubrick wants us to be so aware, and he keeps reminding us, both obviously and a little less obviously, of the number 42. Again, the 42 on Danny's sleeve, the room 237, which I believe 2 times 3 times 7 equals 42. This room is creepy in every conceivable way, and it seems to feature a television. Look at this. Look in this rendering of this computer thing that this person is doing on this website. In the corner of this living room area of room 237, there is a TV. I think it's a TV because it has doors on it, just like this TV in the lobby. It's a little bit different, but similar design, similar everything, same little lion legs, same like wood thing going on, and same doors. So this is a TV just with the doors closed in room 237. The TV has the doors open in the lobby scene where Wendy and Danny are in there, and Danny's on his cloth of honor, and they're watching, or seem to be watching, a movie called The Summer of 42 on this TV that very closely mimics the TV that I think is a TV, not a cabinet, but a TV in room 237. Also, what I think some of you were telling me in the comments of my latest video, one of my latest videos, Understanding the Shining Part 18, when I was talking about, like, I'm from Los Angeles, I don't know snow, I don't know, like, the light in the sky. Some of you said, yeah, no, the light in the sky does look like that sometimes when it snows. Okay, cool. But somebody, I think it was Richard. Again, Richard, you did it again. Tankard, he said, not only is the fact that the TV is unplugged, like, that's not the only issue with this TV being on in these circumstances, but he said, where are the rabbit ears? Where's the antenna? That was a de rigueur part of televisions back in the day. You couldn't watch a TV if it didn't have an antenna on both the TV and the rooftop of your house. And And what Richard, I think it was Richard. Forgive me if somebody else said this, and I'm saying that Richard said it. Um, Not only is, the fact that the TV is not plugged in, that's not the only issue. He said this is a snowstorm, this is a blizzard. The fact that they're getting reception on the TV, period, is kind of like unheard of. Like maybe they can get it. I don't know. Maybe they could get reception, but the picture wouldn't be this good. It would be really bad reception, if any reception at all, on the TV, which I I I never would have thought of that. I never would have thought. I mean, yes, I grew up in a time where we had antennas on the top of the TV, and if you wanted a clear picture, oh, trust and believe, if you're young and you're listening to me, trust and believe, like, this TV doesn't have a remote control, so if you want to, like, change the channel, you got to get up. And that's the first issue. Second issue, it's not plugged in. Third issue, where's the antenna? And even if you had good reception, you had to, like, position that antenna on top of the TV just right to get a clear picture, or, line the freaking, oh my God, these TVs back in the day, like the picture would start to skip, and then you'd have to, like, walk up to the TV and, like, slap the shit out of it to get the picture to stop skipping. That was kind of fun, to be honest with you. That was not bad. But I would slap the TV right on top. Some people would slap the side. No, I slap it right on top. I bop it right on the head. But what Richard was telling me, the reception during a snowstorm like this, in a place that is, like, smack dab in the middle of freaking nowhere, like, yeah, that's suspicious. So, but they're watching this movie, Summer of 42, and Richard, he showed me this image, and it got the wheels spinning in my head, comparing Danny to Dolores. They're posed the same way. Both of them are on a blanket or a towel, so they're both on a cloth of honor. Look at this. This is Danny's cloth of honor, and under her bottom down here, you can see the I guess, beach towel that she's sitting on in the yard. Okay. This is kind of weird. I know movies and Instagram influencers put pictures of themselves, like, just hanging out in the yard in their bathing suits. Like, how many real people do that? Especially if there's no pool. Come on now. But whatever. And that got my wheels to spinning in my head. And I said, Summer of 42, Summer of 42, Summer of 42. Summer of 42. What happened? And I asked myself this question before I started looking. I said, what does Stanley want us to know about the summer of 42? The summer of 42. And I started looking shit up. Okay? And I got to Googling. And I finally found something. I said, what are the summer months? What months of the year are considered the summer? Well, summer starts June 21st of the year, okay, and it ends on September 21st. That's when fall officially begins, September. So the summer months are, like, the last third of June, all of July, all of August, and the first 2/3 of September, okay. And I thought about those months, and I kept looking and looking, and I finally found what I think is the answer to what Stanley wants us to be aware of, or just know what happened in the summer of 1942. And I'm going to show it to you right now. This long pause. That has to do with this person, Robert Oppenheimer. Where is it? Yes. I'll read it to you. The Manhattan Project. Okay? Now, the Manhattan Project, I'll read you a little bit of this. I don't know. Oh, I can't read you all of this. No, I can't. But I'll leave it in the comment, or the description, so you can read it for yourself. All of it. Here it is. The Manhattan Project was a research and development undertaking during World War II, that produced the first nuclear weapons. It was led by the United States with support from the United Kingdom and Canada. From 1942 to 1946, the project was under the direction of Major General Leslie Groves of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The nuclear physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer was the director of the Los Alamos laboratory that designed the bombs. The Army component was designated the Manhattan District, as its first headquarters were in Manhattan. The name gradually superseded the official code name, Development of Substitute Materials, for the entire project. The project absorbed its earlier British counterpart, tube alloys. The Manhattan Project began modestly in 1939, but employed nearly 130,000 people at its peak and cost nearly $2 billion, equivalent to about $24 billion in 2021. Over 90% of the cost was for building factories and to produce fissile material, with less than 10% for development and production of the weapons. Research and production took place at more than 30 sites across the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. Okay. Listen. I'm gonna have to take a better look at this page eventually. Oh, look at this. Despite the Manhattan Project's tight security, Soviet atomic spies successfully penetrated the program, and the project was also charged with gathering intelligence on the German nuclear weapon project. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, when did this thing begin? In 1942. Okay, when is the anniversary of this thing celebrated? August of 1942. Okay, it was disbanded August of 1947. Oh Lord. That's when the events in the book Lolita start. That's the beginning date of the events in the book of Lolita, 1947. Oh, there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. Okay. So the date credited for the anniversary of the Manhattan Project is August of 1942. That definitely falls within summer. Okay, summer 1942. And the thing lasted from 1942 to 1946. Is this a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? I ask you this: is it a coincidence that the Manhattan Project, basically, like I guess the official, or the recognized starting date of the Manhattan Project is August 13th of 1942. I think that might even be Stanley Kubrick's birthday. Not 1942, but August 13th. I don't know. What the hell is going on? Is that why Stanley wants us to be so aware of the summer of 42? Maybe it's not even about, well, yeah, it is. I mean, the inappropriate relationship in this movie. Yeah, it does. It does kind of remind you of Lolita. It sure does. But the year 1942 and the fact that the inappropriate relationship happened in the summer of 1942. Is the Manhattan Project the inappropriate relationship that he's alluding to in it, by pointing to this movie and the number 42 more than once in the movie The Shining? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, there's a lot to consider here. And I was talking about Twin Peaks a little while ago, and I said how the Black Lodge um, has the chevron pattern on the floor. Well, damn it. Look at this uh, room 237 picture. Look at the curtains. They, too, are displaying a chevron pattern. And also, not just the curtains. No, there's more. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. The bedspread on the bed in the bedroom of room 232. Same pattern on the bedspread as the curtains, that chevron pattern. Oh, and then there's if this is accurate to the movie, this reconstruction, computer generated reconstruction thing is accurate to the movie. There's a picture of a fox in what looks like snow on the wall over here. I don't know. I just don't know. But, and also, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot to think about. And I don't want to make any like hasty judgments here. But, we got a radiator. We sure do. We got a radiator in room 237. And then, this is a different angle of the bedroom portion of it. Like, should this chair even be this close to a radiator? I don't know. And let me check something real quick too. While we're here. Okay, this TV in the corner that I believe is a TV, just like the TV in the lobby, that's got its doors closed. I see no cord. Do you? I don't see no cord on this TV. I do see a still life with flowers, but again, I need to check the movie to see if this artwork on the wall is accurate to the movie. Yeah, there's the TV. No cord. No cord nowhere. There's a socket here for plugging things in, but the TV is definitely not plugged into that. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, and look at this light on the ceiling. What the hell? Looks an awful lot like the War Room light in Doctor Strangelove. Oh, let me click on it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, Lordy. There's so much going on. There's so much going on. So if Bob from Twin Peaks is supposed to remind us about the Born-Oppenheimer breakdown, and that, that Bob character was quote unquote, born during a nuclear test in 1945. All right, testing a weapon that was developed as a result of this project, the Manhattan Project, which the anniversary of the thing is August of 1942. Oh, shit. What do y'all think? Tell me. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? What do you think's going on? Am I right? Or am I kind of right? Or am I close to right? Am I on to something? Tell me whether or not you believe I'm on to something. I just don't know what to think. I really don't. I really freaking don't. What is this? Ugh. Okay. I'm just like scrolling through this Manhattan Project page. There's Oppenheimer. Ugh. They're fucking smiling in this picture at the remains of the Trinity test in September 1945. 2 months after the test blast and just after the end of World War II. The white overshoes prevented fallout from sticking to the soles of their shoes. Jeez, ugh. Okay. There. All right. There's the project sites. Is there one in Colorado? Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. Is there one in Colorado? Oh, Lordy. Wait a minute. Where is Colorado? Oh my God. I can't. I can't. I just can't. This is too much. This is too fucking much. Y'all, let me know. Please let me know what you think. All right? Tell me what you think. Let me know what you think. Okay. I'm I don't know. I don't know what to think. I stumbled upon this. I'm making this connection um to not just the nuclear bomb. No. No. He already talked about that in Doctor Strangelove. No. With the number 42 in um The Shining. He's not just talking about the nuclear bomb. He's talking about the creation and like how that shit happened and how like everything that had to come together came together in order for this dreadful weapon to be created. Let me know. Please let me know what you think. I know I've put a lot into this video. Maybe there's a lot to think about. I know I haven't even covered everything that I wanted to say. I know I've like forgotten something. I just can't remember the what it is and or is there something I wanted to say about Twin Peaks too? I don't know. I don't know. But ooh, I'm getting tired. Listen, let me know what you think in the comments about 42, 42, and 42. Oppenheimer, the Born-Oppenheimer breakdown, Doctor Strangelove, Stanley Kubrick being worried about nuclear proliferation, the Manhattan Project, and, of course, Twin Peaks Bob, Laura Palmer, Leland Palmer, the Black Lodge, the whole thing. I need to get into it. I really need to get to work and work on more of this stuff. Work more on Twin Peaks and other Stanley Kubrick movies and whatever. So I will get to that. I know I said I was going to do an art history thing, and I will pretty soon, but I just couldn't get this out of my head. I needed to put it down in video form for you to consume, think about, turn it over and over in your head like a grilled cheese sandwich. There's Bob, aka Robertson, aka Beware of Bob. B-O-B, capital B, capital O, capital B, and the Manhattan Project. So, okay, I think I'm done talking, you all. Let me reiterate the church announcements and sign off. So, returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. All of you, I appreciate you so much. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you know anybody who might be interested in this. And like I said, I'm working on more videos, working on more ideas as they come up. Trust and believe there will be more. And until I find yet another reason to talk at you in one of these videos, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.